Get ready, because we're diving into asterisk Ben Shapiro humiliates the most insane woke TikToks. Part 8 asterisk if you've ever been curious about just how wild TikTok can get. Ben's producers have gone the extra mile to uncover the most outlandish content for him to critique.
Managed to control women's bodies that much more. Do you think invisible man-made Sky Daddy will love you now?
They've assembled what can only be described as a whirlwind of chaos. But before we dive in, let me ask for a quick favor. If you're enjoying this content, take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Did you know over 98% of our viewers watch without subscribing? It's completely free for you, but it means the world to us. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Fantastic. Thanks so much for your support. Now, back to the video. Ben's first reaction is to a TikTok that's nothing short of a spectacle. The creator launches into a fiery rant about the Supreme Court.
Angry! This is atrocious! This is war on women! How dare the Supreme Court do this? You, Kavanaugh! You, Gorsuch, for lying under oath when you were confirmed, saying that you believe that this was settled!
It's a mix of war on women, white privilege, and the Christian narrative, all wrapped up in one. Imagine taking Twitter outrage, adding a jolt of espresso, and letting it spill out on camera.
Women of privilege will still have access after their senators them. Poor working mothers will not. Young women who are victims of sexual assault will not. Women who found out that their child is not viable in the third trimester will not. And who the knows what's going to happen ectopically, because half you men prove that you don't know what an ectopic pregnancy is. How do I have less rights than my mother?
No, you have less rights.
Ben doesn't hesitate for a second to start dismantling her argument.
It is going to prevent the abortion or removal of an ectopic pregnancy. There's literally no legislative language that does any of this. As far as the argument that millions of women are going to die from this, that's just a lie. It's not true. If you look, as far as the argument that she's making about white privileged women will still be able to get abortions, but that's because of the left, not because of the right, meaning that the right would like those privileged white women also not to get abortions, last I checked. Like, I don't want any of these women to get abortions.
You gotta stop killing!
It's not about singling out one group. It's about ending abortion entirely. While the left tends to focus on extreme cases, Ben argues that these exceptions serve as a Trojan horse to promote unrestricted abortion policies.
Extreme case. So the young girl who gets raped, and she's going to have to now bear the baby. That is not nearly the vast majority of abortions in this country. They're using edge cases because even if you said to them, okay, well, we will say that you can have abortions in these cases, they would say, but yes, but what we actually want is just abortion across the board for all time for any reason whatsoever. But again, reality matters not to these people. The only thing that matters to them is that they're very, very angry.
But that's not all. Next, we have a TikToker asserting that Judaism is a pro-abortion religion.
We are horrified.
No.
This is a huge problem for us, all of us in the Jewish community, because we as a religion support abortion.
No.
If someone needs an abortion because their baby is sick, they're allowed to do it according to Jewish law. If being pregnant is causing a tremendous amount of stress for the mother, then according to Jewish law, she is allowed to have an abortion.
No.
So to all of you out there that are outraged by this, we as a Jewish community, we support you.
And this is where Ben really goes in. He delves into Jewish law, citing rabbinic authorities to demonstrate that abortion in Judaism is far more complex than a simple endorsement.
One of the founders of sort of bioethics in the Orthodox Jewish community had an article talking about why the overruling of Roe versus Wade was good. Jewish law says that if you want an abortion, you have to go to a rabbi, part of the patriarchy, and you have to get a heter, meaning some sort of permission, in order to get the abortion. And only the most permissive authorities, you're talking about fringe permissive authorities, allow abortions in some of the kinds of cases she's talking about. And there are certain rabbanim, ranging from Moshe Feinstein to Rav Joseph Soloveitchik, who say that
one TikToker, Dawn, dramatically collapsed on the floor while screaming about dystopian nightmares. Now, let's tackle the Handmaid's Tale comparison, because, unsurprisingly, it makes an appearance here as well.
Or religious views. This is about the woman who tried to have a baby so bad and ended up having a miscarriage, who now has to go stand on. And if you think that this is helping anything, you're so wrong. We are moving so far back in history, and if you think that this is just the beginning, you're wrong.
He outright dismisses the reference, calling the book garbage and rolling his eyes at the dramatic theme.
About this, The Handmaid's Tale is going to be more than
The
just
Handmaid's
a show.
Tale. My God, read another book.
The video also features a TikToker warning that the Supreme Court's decision will trigger a domino effect. Gay marriage will be outlawed, interracial marriage banned, and contraceptives restricted. It's a classic slippery slope argument that Ben swiftly dismantles. He points out that none of these outcomes are even remotely likely.
Or not.
Ain't gonna happen.
Okay, there was one vote for that, Justice Thomas. But there's this belief system on the left that unless the Supreme Court does precisely what they want them to do by preventing all of their fellow citizens from voting on these issues at the state level, then this means that their rights are under grievous assault. That's not the way any of this works. They think that the job of the Supreme Court is just to do what they want it to do, and that's not the job of the
spend money. But if you are a red state and you have anti-abortion law, and not spend my money there, but I will also not.
Declining demographics, high taxes, and see how this works out for you guys economically speaking. You want to go to economic war over abortion? We'll find out pretty damn quickly which side is going to win that economic war, because it turns out that the same side that seems to want to protect human life also tends to be pretty free.
Twice
I'm developing PTSD from this guy singing.
Glad that you're pro-life. And 40% of homeless youth are LGBTQ. They come from families that are just like you, but I'm glad you sleep better at night. Bro, are you saying that people with PTSD don't deserve to live? If you're that ignorant, no amount of explaining what the song is about is going to convince you. But I really don't think you're that ignorant. I think you're just trying